Looking for a smart way to manage your data at home? A network-attached storage NAS device offers secure backups, seamless file sharing, and easy access from multiple devices. A NAS offers convenience and security with features like remote access, centralized storage, and automatic backups. So in this video, we have compiled a list and reviewed the top 5 best NAS for homes in 2025. Check out the description below for more info on the products. Let's get started. Number 5. Synology DiskStation DS223J. There's little reason to consider anything other than the Synology DiskStation DS223J for a NAS that won't cost much. This enclosure costs less than $200, yet manages to house two 3.5-inch drive bays for up to 40 terabytes of raw storage capacity. This makes it the ideal NAS for homes and NAS beginners, where more intensive apps such as Plex Media Server will not be installed. Streaming media with this enclosure is possible, but transcoding is out of the question due to the ARM processor. Synology made this NAS affordable by using a Realtek RTD1619B processor. It's an ARM chip that packs less punch than its Intel Celeron counterparts. This does mean the enclosure draws less power and should run cooler. 1 GB of DDR4 RAM is installed, and this is all you'll be able to use, as there's no option to expand it. Like all other Synology NAS enclosures, the DS223J runs DiskStation Manager DSM, providing access to the best-in-class operating system. We found the NAS an excellent budget-friendly enclosure with only a few drawbacks when factoring in its low price. First, there's the issue of limited system resources. 1 GB of RAM may not be enough for busier households with multiple accounts attempting to perform various NAS-related tasks. The CPU isn't the most powerful in an enclosure either. There's no expansion support, and a single 1 gigabit Ethernet connection to the network can quickly become saturated. Still, the DS223J is a good, affordable NAS for most homes. Number 4. Asustor Flashstor 6 FS6706T. Spinning mechanical drives offer the best value in terms of price per GB, but they're loud, have motors that cause vibrations, and aren't reliable. Moving parts are more likely to break than immobile parts, so SSDs are becoming more commonplace in NAS. Asustor went above and beyond with the Asustor Flashstor FS6706T by offering no 3.5-inch drive bays. Instead, this enclosure houses 6 M.2 NVMe drive slots for rapid solid-state storage. This opens access to many possibilities for creating a home server without noise, high power draw, and vibrations. Using SSDs may be more expensive than mechanical drives, especially when purchasing those designed for NAS usage, but it could be worth it if you desire the best endurance. This NAS would be a good match for storing data and running services or creating a media streaming platform. The Intel Celeron N5095 is one we've seen in many of the best NASs, and 4 GB of DDR4 RAM is a great starting point. Having access to 6 M.2 slots for speedy NVMe drives is great on its own, but this requires considerable bandwidth for it to be worth the investment. Unfortunately, as we highlighted in our review, it's impossible to run 6 PCIe 3.0 drives at full speed and enjoy the highest data transfer rates. The CPU and two 2.5 gigabit Ethernet network points are a bottleneck for the available storage slots. It's no deal breaker and will only affect those seeking high speeds across the network. We found fully saturating the two 2.5 gigabit Ethernet ports to be more than enough for the home or office. Number 3, Ugreen NASync DXP6800 Pro. Ugreen entered the NAS market with all the panache of a cannonballer in a swimming pool, launching 6 different NAS offerings from the outset. The DXP6800 Pro is one rung below its flagship DXP8800 Plus, and this is a high-end design with all the bells and whistles that make it a remarkably flexible solution. The Intel 12th generation Core i5 processor combined with up to 64 gigabytes of RAM enables this NAS to host multiple applications and services without breaking into a sweat. There are 6 conventional drive bays and 2 NVMe SSD slots, giving a total potential storage capacity of 160 terabytes based on current drive scales. Comparing this unit to those from other brands, the DXP8800 Plus is more orientated to the software developer and technically minded. Ugreen's UGOS operating system is relatively new. It doesn't offer the suite of apps you might expect from Synology or QNAP. However, those who know how to use Docker containers and virtual machines can install all the classic NAS tools, like Plex. However, those who want a more sophisticated NAS environment from the outset can swap UGOS for TrueNAS, a third-party NAS OS. But that change is another technical exercise hinting that the DXP6800 Pro is more for technology aficionados than the average home user. Number 2, TerraMaster F2-223. The TerraMaster F2-223 offers great value when compared against our top recommendation. The company priced this NAS at $260 while offering an Intel Celeron N4500 processor, supporting up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, which is more than some have in their desktop PCs, and M.2 slots for good measure. Not only is this NAS capable of handling a busier household, but it's also a good pick for a smaller Plex Media Server installation. Don't read too much into the available HDMI port, as TerraMaster is yet to enable this for media playback. Still, the specifications and price make this a great pick for those wanting the best bang for their buck. The two 2.5 gigabit Ethernet connections on the rear are ideal for taking advantage of additional network bandwidth or providing scope for infrastructure upgrades in the future. We found in our testing for review that the TerraMaster F2-223 only suffered from a limited app selection, resulting in the company relying on community-maintained offerings and a downgrade in cloud support compared to Synology. If you're looking for a NAS to use as local storage without cloud-backed services, the TerraMaster F2-223 may be a better fit than the Synology DiskStation DS224 Plus. Number 1. Synology DiskStation DS224 Plus. The Synology DiskStation DS224 Plus is an excellent NAS, replacing the popular DS220 Plus, which launched in 2020. While this newer enclosure didn't arrive with all the upgrades many within the NAS community were hoping for, Synology hasn't increased the MSRP over the predecessor, effectively offering a CPU upgrade for free. The Intel Celeron J4125 is a familiar processor and was present inside the Synology DiskStation DS920 Plus. This enclosure was regarded as one of the best NASs for Plex, making this DS224 Plus a compelling choice for the home. In our extensive testing, we found the NAS to perform just as well as its predecessor, with notable improvements in media transcoding and running more intensive apps. The faster processor can do all tasks with fewer system resources, allowing other tasks to be run or accounts to connect to the enclosure without slowing down overall performance. 2 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM should be enough to get started, but it can be expanded to a maximum of 6 gigabytes, as supported by Synology. There's no way to connect an expansion unit or any M.2 slots. Once you've fully loaded this NAS with data, you'll need to consider a replacement with more bays. However, it's a good place to start for a home NAS with its good value and affordable price tag. Just remember to factor in the cost of NAS drives. That's it for today's video, guys. If you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up, leaving a comment, and subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell icon so you never miss out on our latest videos.